What?
What's up? How gangster are you, cuz?
Hey.
I don't fuck with you, cuz you disrespecting me.
Whoop.
I don't fuck with you, cuz you disrespecting me. I
Go hard, cuz. Hey, everyone. I hope you guys are doing good tonight. Everybody but this bitch in the chat named Shasha, don't ever tell me who the fuck I stand with and who I'm voting for. I'm so tired of people and this disgusting divisive energy. Like, if you're team Kamala, be that. If you're team Trump, be that. Don't put labels on me. Period, point blank. I done told y'all many times again, this is not a political channel. I don't talk politics. I don't care what side of the spectrum you're on. Do you, okay? Do you, because at the end of the day, everybody be in these chats. Oh, I'm team Kamala, I'm team Kamala. But she damn sure lost. See, people say stuff on social media, but in the real world, when they get up in that booth, it'd be a whole nother story. So don't ever project your bullshit onto me because I'm going to check you. She was in there loud as hell, tease a Trump supporter. Bitch, you don't know what I am or what I'm not. Because I've never told you either way. It's nobody's business, point blank period, who I support. Everybody needs to make their own decision. Cast your own vote. And if your fave lost, oh well. Deal with it. It's very funny, like the stuff that I'm seeing. And I don't mean to like pop off like within like the first 2 seconds of the live. You know what I mean? But it's like everything is just like social media has literally driven me crazy the past 48 hours. Just watching just all of this stuff, the back and forth. My Instagram page, the comments are in shambles. Discord is in shambles. The emotions, people texting me. I couldn't even go to bed yesterday until about 4 o'clock in the morning. I had wanted to do a live stream, but I've been really sick, to be honest with y'all. I've been really sick. I was at the hospital earlier today. I feel a little bit better, but I'm like, you know what? I don't want to push the live out because I wasn't going to go live until tomorrow. But everybody's like, you need to go live. You need to go live. So fuck it. I got up, got dressed, showered. Here I am. But no, I'm going to check people. Like quit. Just quit with the divisive nonsense. Like, just stop already. Like, I'm really over it. And I feel like we're back in 2020. And it's very interesting now that the shoe's on the other foot, how people are acting. Remember in 2020 when Trump lost and the MAGA supporters was crying tattooed tears and the election was stolen. I had MAGA supporters in my chat cussing me out. Send me $50 super chats just to cuss me out. What'd I do? I'm probably the most neutral person. I've always said, do what you feel in your heart is right. You don't owe me no explanation. That's your business. That's between you, the person you voted for, and God. But again, people have turned politics into the same thing y'all do with music. You know how y'all have, the different fandoms? Party Gang, the Barbs, the Hotties. I don't know what Glorilla's peoples are called. You know what I mean? But that's literally what politics has turned into, where it's not even like fun. Not saying that it's supposed to be fun, but it's where you don't even want to you just want to tune it out after a while because it's just so much negativity, so much divisiveness, so much, y'all lost, we won. Same thing that happened in 2020 when the Democrats won. Look at all the Trump supporters crying. That's why we won. Same exact, it's like the immaturity. It's insane. You got people on TikTok screaming and carrying on. It's like, damn. I get it. We're living in scary times. I understand. I'm not dismissing that. But again, we can't say that we live in a democracy and you have the right to vote for who you want to vote for. You got people cussing out folks who voted independent. If you voted independent, fuck you. I hope you die. Damn, I thought people were supposed to be free to vote for who they want to vote for. So they chose to not vote for either party and they're still getting cussed out. It's almost like a mental illness going on. I just don't, and it's on both sides. It's on both sides. It's like a cult. So for me, I just want to remove myself from all this. It's low vibrational. It's draining as hell. And then half hour just making up shit. We're going to be in chains tomorrow. They're going to make us slaves. The devil is a lie. I wish a bitch would. Y'all just be saying anything just to get stuff hyped up. It's so crazy. It is. It's just like, I'm just blown away by the things I'm seeing. And then there was tea sippers going at other tea sippers talking about, oh, I find it funny that there's all these Trump supporters who are tea sippers. What are y'all doing here? What you mean what they doing here? They're fans of me just like you're fans of me. You don't think I have Trump supporters who support my channel? You're goofy if you think that. You don't think I have Kamala supporters who support me? You're goofy. Support who you want to support. Why are you attacking somebody else because they're happy that their candidate won? If the roles were reversed, you'd be celebrating. Like, it's insane to me. It really is. It is insane. I get the disappointment. But I think with Kamala losing, what I'm taking away from this, I feel like, because she lost by a landslide. Can we just keep that real? She lost by a lot. Okay? You had a lot of people who don't want to, they don't like strong women. Let's start there. So you had people, they don't want to see a woman as a president, period. If a white woman named Hillary Clinton could lose back in 2016, I didn't really have super high hopes for Kamala. Or Kamala, excuse me. Kamala. I say Kamala because the wrestler. For Kamala. Right? You had, even when I was talking to people, you know, like discussions amongst friends, family, even with my son, because my youngest son, it was his first time voting this year. And I said, what are your friends saying? Like, what are the people in your age group saying? We had this discussion over breakfast. And he said, well, most of the girls want Kamala. They're only voting for Kamala. A lot of the boys are saying, you know, Trump. It's a lot. And I feel like a lot of that, this race was not only about gender, but about race as well, but really about gender. You have a lot of men who did not feel comfortable with Kamala Harris being the leader of the free world. That's how I honestly feel. Her policies aside, just her being a woman made a lot of people uncomfortable, because one thing about a woman, when you're in a position where you're a strong woman, you know who you are, you have to deal with two things. Men, for the most part, are going to support men. They're going to have each other's backs. I don't care if it's black men, white men, they're going to come together. They're going to form a little brotherhood. But when you're a strong woman, you have to deal with men not really supporting that and women not really supporting that. I see it all the time here, even on YouTube. The men click up in the commentary section. They're bros and support each other and cross-promoting all this shit. The women, absolutely not. Drama, jealousy, trying to take down other women, bunch of catty-ass bullshit. So I think it was a lot going against her. What I also think, too, is that the Democrats were not being honest about old man Joe. For years, I and many people have been saying there's something wrong with this man. We like Joe, that's our president, but he's not all there. Something, he just seems off. If the wife doesn't run up there and go grab him, he'll just stand there on stage. He's always talking about ice cream. He just seems like he's not all there. And for a long time, the mainstream media was gaslighting people. This is a conspiracy. This is ageism. Y'all are just mean because he's old. Well, no, it's not really because he's old, because Trump is not a spring chicken either. Trump is old. From what I hear, he wears a pamper. Okay? So it's not ageism. Something is going on with his cognitive skills. He just does not give me comfort in his decision making. It's like, who is behind the scenes really pulling the strings? Because he just doesn't know if he's coming or going. We were saying this literally a year into his presidency, that he seems to be declining. But the mainstream kept gaslighting and saying that there's nothing wrong. Y'all are being ageist and all this nonsense. But then what happened is when he did his first debate with Trump, he embarrassed the entire Democratic Party. He embarrassed the entire mainstream media where they couldn't hide it anymore. We saw what we saw. He was having fits of rage, just talking in circles. It was embarrassing. So then at that point, y'all gonna have to figure out something because we're not voting for this. We're not doing this. And a lot of people said, yeah, I don't think Kamala's strong enough to be a choice, but I get why they're trying to play the Kamala card because of women and, people of color. She checks off a lot of boxes. But a lot of people were saying, you might want to pick a white man to go against Trump. That was ignored. Okay, cool. I don't think she had a long time to run her campaign. She had to do all of this within, about 100 days? I don't think it was a lot of time for a lot of people who did not know much about Kamala to really get to know her. To really get to know her in the time needed. Whereas if they would have did all this 2-3 years ago, when Joe was steadily declining, it might have been a different outcome. And then also, let's not forget, too, all the stuff that was going on the other side with Trump. His felony charges, tax issues, the assassination attempts. They were almost turning him into a godlike figure. And I say that because after he almost got popped and the bullet whizzed past his ear, at the next rally, the people in the audience had Band-Aids on their ear. As if they had been hit. Like, well, what are y'all doing? Y'all weren't hit. Why are y'all walking around with Band-Aids? Like, it's like a cult. Just weird. Like, just deifying. I just feel like the whole thing is just like we live in the upside down world. It's just insane. Yes, half the people in the audience had Band-Aids on their ear to show support about his attempted assassination attempt. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. I just feel like everything has just been very, very divisive, and it's finally come to this moment, and I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. He was able to tap into a new base of people. You had a lot of black men also, Team Trump, voting for Trump. And some black women as well, but, a lot more black men. They're saying that surprisingly enough, it wasn't a whole lot of white men who were running to the polls this time. It was really minorities, Latinos, and blacks. And I think another thing that also kind of messed up her campaign, I'm all for women's rights because I am a woman. And I do understand that, unfortunately, when we go to the doctors, especially as minority women, a lot of times we're misdiagnosed. We don't get the right kind of treatment, pain management. We have high rates of death during birth. So I understand all of that as a woman. I think they were pushing the whole abortion thing a bit too much. We get it. You're pro-abortion. You're pro, my body, my choice. And I don't think, there's anything wrong with that. That is your business. But I think for the majority, that wasn't really an issue for the majority of people. And they were making that a majority issue. That is a minority issue, right? Everybody's not necessarily getting knocked up and not knowing who the father is or getting molested through, incest or just whatever reason that people want to get abortions. That's not everybody's story at this current point in time. The main thing that people are worried about is how I'm going to feed my kids that are actually living. And a lot of that was not being addressed. It was more about, the abortions and protecting your rights. I get that. But what about the kids I chose to give birth to? How are they going to eat? Rent is going up. Interest rates are going up. Job pay is not. So I think like they dropped the ball on a lot of issues that were really important to everyone in America, regardless of race, gender, sexuality. They homed in on that issue a lot. And, again, yes, if you're in that situation, that's very important that you don't want to feel like you have to fly 4 states away to go get an abortion. I get it if you're in that situation. But the majority of people are not in that situation. So the majority of people cannot relate. Right? Just like even with the whole trans situation, she was, and I think that's where she lost the white women. A lot of white women are not for trans men playing in sports. A lot of white girls are able to get sports scholarships as female athletes. And when you have men like Leah Thomas just deciding to wake up and be a woman one day and be a swimmer, and she becomes seen as the fastest female college swimmer, just whatever the hell the title was, against Riley, that rubbed a lot of white women the wrong way when it was said that Kamala would be supporting that. Again, that's a small minority issue. I think they should have focused on bigger issues that affected more of the populace. All the smaller issues could have been worked out once in office. But I think she ran a decent campaign for what it was. It wasn't a lot of time. She was kind of just thrown in there. I mean, let's keep it real. Even Obama took a while to even put his support behind her. And he talked a lot, kept tweeting, throughout the whole thing. But it took him a while, though. Let's keep it real. It took him a while to get behind her. He was one of the last ones to really throw his full support in there. Meaning he wasn't even sure if she'd be right, if people would see her in that light as president. Another thing, too, with the campaign, Kamala had damn near everybody named Mama in Hollywood campaigning for her and coming out and supporting her. From Oprah to Meg Thee Stallion, Glorilla, what's his name? Quavo, Cardi B, Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift. There was a lot of celebrity endorsement. It was over the top. And in the words of Malcolm X, y'all can go back and listen to his speeches from 1965. Why is it that when they want to talk to the black audience, they bring in horn players and actresses and actors? Bring in people who are vast in politics. Bring in intellectuals to talk to the black community. I think that's where she kind of dropped the ball. And granted, Oprah, she's a pretty smart woman, But like LeBron James, even like today I saw his tweet where he's like, crying and I'll protect my daughter and, it's going to be okay, Zuri. And it's like, LeBron, you're damn near a billionaire. She's going to be okay either way. She's going to be all right. Remember, your kids were all right even when Trump was president 4 years ago. Did they really suffer then? No, because they're rich. They're Nepo babies. They'll be fine. I just feel like it's a lot of things that are just really out of touch. I think Trump had way stronger celebrity endorsements. He didn't have a lot. But I think once Elon put his stamp behind Trump publicly and Joe Rogan, that made a huge dent compared to any of those people I just named off. Joe Rogan has the world's biggest podcast. Elon Musk is the Tony Starks of social media. So the second they got behind it, I think that kind of sealed the fate, especially Joe, right? Especially Joe. Yeah, Aiden Ross. They had the youth. And Joe Rogan came out and said, "We asked Kamala to come on our show. She didn't do it. She wanted to come on for 45 minutes. You know how Joe Rogan's show goes. Joe Rogan ain't going to talk to you for under 2 hours. So why would you think you could pop in and pop out? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't feel like, I get it. She tried her best. But I think you have to go to where the people are. And that is what Trump did. This man was hanging out with streamers. They were wrapping their cars with Trump 2024. And, excuse me, regardless if you like these streamers or not, them motherfuckers got followers and influence. Way more followers and influencers than I could ever even dream of having. They have young men who follow everything they do to a T. So when you have Trump going to go visit Aiden Ross, that says a lot to the young people. And I know Kai said that I think Kamala's people try to reach out to him, but Kai wasn't interested. He's not into politics or whatever. And he has that right, because I wouldn't be interested either. On either coming to my platform, they would have asked me. So he has that right. But I just think that Trump played it smart. He went to where the people went. I think if Kamala would have sat down with Joe and allowed Joe to question her and, in that space and just had a freely open conversation, it may have humanized her more. So I think there was a lot of opportunities that were missed. And this is just my opinion. You can say girl all you want. I'm just saying, I think a lot of opportunities were missed for people to connect with her more. Especially when you are a woman playing a man's game. Sometimes you have to go to where the fellas are. You just do. Because again, you're going to have a segment of the female population who's going to support you, right? Because you're a woman and I am woman, hear me roar. We both have vaginas. I get that. But you have another segment of the population of women who don't support other women. There's no sisterhood. I've been saying that forever. Most women are not girls. So you have to play like the boys. You have to get down in the trenches. You have to get down there with them. Because half of the women population are just not going to support you simply because they don't want to see another woman in position of power either. They're very male-centered. Just saying. So it's going to be interesting. So I just kind of been, like I said, watching some of the videos on social media, some of the breakdowns, the meltdowns, the gloating on both sides. And I get it because, again, 4 years ago when the Trump team lost, the Democrats and the Biden supporters were gloating, so much so that they went crazy and January 6th was born. So it's very funny now, like everybody is so cocky and arrogant as if y'all weren't crying 4 years ago, so much so that y'all went to the Capitol and half y'all are now doing 10 years in prison plus. Gotta act like adults. You can't say that this is a democracy and that we're free to elect who we feel is right. And then when the democracy plays out, now the trending topic is Trump cheated. So I don't know. I just find the whole thing it's very interesting. It's very interesting. And it's not lost on me either that Trump made sure to pick a vice president, J.D. Vance, whose wife is an Indian. Ironic. The shade. Am I the only person who kind of peeped that? That out of all the people, because I didn't know a lot about J.D. Vance. I said, oh, Usha's an Indian. And we have a woman who is half Indian running. Interesting. Watch out, the shade, honey. The shade. Okay, let me go ahead. Let's see here. Let's watch some of these news clips. We're definitely gonna be in some interesting times. I will say that we're gonna be in some very interesting times. It's gonna be interesting. Let me. Okay. I only saw some of her concession speech. So this also each time my Donald Trump's win and how Hollywood is reacting to it. So let's go ahead and watch this video here. Give me just a second. See what they're talking about.
We will persist.
This time, that means he needs 23 more.
This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before.
Trump, Trump, baby, all day we won.
Hollywood stars sharing their reactions after election night 2024.
And I'm proud to be an American.
Donald Trump returning to the White House after his decisive victory over Vice President Kamala Harris.
Frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time.
Among the disappointed crowd, Christina Applegate getting right to the point on X, writing, "Please unfollow me if you voted against female rights and disability rights. What you did is unreal." And on Instagram, Oscar winner and mother to a trans daughter, Jamie Lee Curtis.
We're all real people, and we live in a world that is at war.
She says Trump's win means a sure return to a more restrictive, some fear draconian time. Gay and trans people will be more afraid. Adding, for all those people, there will be those who will help you, me included.
We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly.
In reference to Trump's sexual assault allegations, Aubrey O'Day figuring, quote, "The only thing that America hates more than a sexist, racist rapist is a woman." Then Lily Reinhart saying of Trump's alleged victims, "My heart absolutely breaks for these women. I believe you, and I am so sorry."
These are our friends. We have thousands of friends in this incredible movement.
Meanwhile, Trump supporters Amber Rose and Savannah Chrisley posting the victory vibes from their overnight watch parties.
It happened. That's all I have to say. It happened. Our future, 4 years. It's a hell of a lot better than where we've been. Trump, Trump, baby, all day we won. That's it. It's over with.
Hey, look.
We love our country. Yes, we do.
Look what happened. Is this crazy?
When it comes to next steps, Jonathan Van Ness, Andy Cohen, plus Real Housewives alum Bethany Frankel offering their 2 cents amid mixed emotions in Hollywood.
We will persist. We will move forward.
Gotta dance at the one who brung you. The decision has been made. The die has been cast, and people have to move forward, unite, and the divisiveness has not worked. Everyone has to agree on that.
We're going to keep showing up. We're going to keep working together. We're going to be okay. I love you. We are going to be okay.
All right, so you guys just heard what some of the celebrities had to say. So, of course, they're also taking it hard. This whole election was very, very divisive. And it's not just the people on social media, but even in my neighborhood. I mean, you see it like some people have like their Trump banners and Kamala Harris, Waltz, because again, Tim Waltz is from here. So you could even see like the divides, of like people's homes, the flags and the signs that they have up. So this was very sad. I think going forward, a lot of people are going to have to make a decision because not only is he president, but the Republicans have taken over basically the Senate and everything else. So if these are decisions that you feel may affect you, you have to be careful. Like somebody said in the chat, protect your womb. You have to get yourself in a situation, you know what I'm saying, to either get on birth control or move out of those states like Texas that are very restrictive, maybe move further up north. I don't know. But you have to make decisions that are going to better yourself, because it's going to be a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. Even now with immigration, it is very scary. I think with this change, I know I've even had teachers reach out to me because y'all know I lived in LA for years. There's a lot of people out there in Cali, you know, undocumented going through it. And so you have children right now who are extremely scared. They don't know what their future holds, what's going to happen to them. And it's not being reported that, you know, because again, the world was watching this election. I mean, there are people I talked to from France, friends in the Netherlands, like everybody this was like Game of Thrones. Like everybody was waiting with bated breath. Like nobody knew what was going to happen. So Trump has won now. Right now, there is there's over 3,000 migrants headed to the southern border. There are plans that on day one, he's going to have a mass deportation of immigrants. So it's a lot of things that are going to be affecting a lot of different people. So I'm not trying to minimize that. But what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, we have to be able to have discussions like adults and figure out some type of conclusion, what we can do. All the yelling and name calling, that's just social media antics. At the end of the day, I live in the real world. I want real world solutions. I don't care about like TikTokers screaming and carrying on to get views and to go viral. So, and that was another very divisive topic, is the fact that the borders were open and people were coming in and they were being bused to cities. That was another thing I think that really affected the turnout. Because, see, it was cool when it was the southern cities and states dealing with immigration. When it was Texas, Arizona, Southern California, it was okay because it was out of sight, out of mind. But once, I believe it was Governor Abbott and all those southern governors started shipping migrants to New York, to Chicago, to the Midwest. I think they even shipped them to, where did he be having them parties in the Hamptons? They had sent a bunch of migrants up to the Hamptons. Then at that point, it was like, okay, well, now y'all got to fix this. Y'all got to, it's too many immigrants running around. New York is being overran. Then it became like more serious. It kind of woke the Northerners up. Because, you know, when we're way up here, up north, it's out of sight, out of mind. So that was another key thing that really helped Trump, was a lot of these Southern Republican governors shipping those migrants and immigrants up north. Because New York at this point is out of control. So we're going to watch this really quick here. This is what's going on right now in the southern border. This was just reported about a few hours ago.
A caravan of approximately 3,000 migrants leaving Tapachula in southern Mexico is heading to the U.S. southern border. The group of migrants is made up of people from Venezuela, Ecuador, Colombia, Peru, Haiti, Costa Rica, Panama, Nepal, Afghanistan, and Central America, La Verdad reports. The migrants are hoping to make their way to the United States before President-elect Donald Trump takes office on January 20th. As the migrants make the trek, some say they're leaving their countries because where they're from is dangerous. They have no security or job opportunities to support their families. Cartel violence, high unemployment, and economic crises in South and Central America are driving more people toward the United States. In Tuesday's election, immigration was a hot issue for voters after U.S. Customs and Border Patrol estimated more than 10 million migrants entered the U.S. under the Biden-Harris administration. Critics say the number is much higher. Some of the migrants tell the Associated Press they're scared Mexican authorities will not allow them to reach the U.S.-Mexico border. In his final days of campaigning, Trump warned Mexico's newly sworn-in president, Claudia Sheinbaum, that he would impose a 25% tariff on Mexican products if migrant flows to the U.S.-Mexico border are not halted. During a news conference Tuesday, Sheinbaum said migrant encounters at Mexico's northern border dropped 75% from December 2023 to October 2024. President-elect Trump has also vowed mass deportations of migrants when he's sworn in. For Straight Arrow News, I'm Lauren Taylor. For more on this story and others.
All right, so let me click on this one here. This is more of the policy that he's trying to implement.
Be back.
When it comes to immigration, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are worlds apart. Trump has echoed the words of Adolf Hitler, claiming that immigrants are poisoning the blood of the United States.
And it's true. They're destroying the blood of our country. That's what they're doing. They're destroying our country.
While Harris has shown empathy for asylum seekers.
Most people don't want to leave home. And when they do, it is usually because either they are fleeing some type of harm or they cannot take care of the simple and basic needs of their family by staying where they are.
It's estimated there are some 11 million people living illegally in the U.S., 7 million of whom are known to the government. During his first term as president, Trump enacted travel bans on Muslim-majority countries, implemented a policy of separating children from their families at the southern border, and made some advances reinforcing a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. But if he's elected to a second term, Trump and his allies are promising to go much further, vowing to facilitate mass deportations, using the U.S. military to round up millions of immigrants and send them back to their countries of origin.
And they do come from prisons and mental institutions, and they are terrorists. And we're going to be paying a price, and it'll be the largest deportation in the history of our country.
For her part, Kamala Harris has tried to focus on what she calls root causes of the immigration crisis. As vice president, she traveled to countries such as Guatemala, where she came under some criticism from progressives in her party when she warned would-be migrants that they would be turned back at the border.
I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come.
Although it was an issue in her portfolio, Republicans have falsely claimed that Harris served as President Biden's border czar. But they have correctly pointed to a record number of illegal crossings of the U.S.-Mexico border in the last 3 years. However, those numbers have plunged dramatically since June, when President Biden issued an executive order to effectively shut the border to migrants seeking asylum when crossings exceed 2,500 per day.
Okay, so y'all just watched that. So that's one of the things that's going on right now. And I think the problem is it's a little too late. Like they just said, Biden, put out an executive order if there's more than 2,500 per day to stop it. But people have been saying this ever since 2020, 2021, that basically people are just flowing in here. I remember there was a documentary, talked about this a few months ago, where Chinese people, they were sneaking in through the Mexico border. They were flying from China to Mexico and then coming in through the southern border because it was faster than going through the legal immigration process. So, it's sad because, again, you're talking about real people, real human beings, real families, so it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. You're talking about kids who this is all they ever known is this country, and they could be forced to leave. So it's sad. The whole thing, it's a very, very nuanced discussion, But I also understand that people are tired and people feel like, okay, I'm not able to get jobs because people would rather hire illegals and pay them, X amount of dollars than to hire me. But then when you talk to the young people who claim that there is no jobs, then you have some who feel like they shouldn't have to work. Quiet quitting and lazy Mondays and doing the bare minimum Thursdays. Just all these stupid names that we see on TikTok. Whereas a lot of these immigrants, they're going to work and bust their ass. Like somebody said in the chat, if they deport all these people, just a mass deportation, it's going to collapse a lot of industries. It's going to collapse a lot of industries, from agriculture to the trades, a lot of industries. And then you need to ask yourself, who is going to pick up the slack? Is Becky TikToker going to be out there picking oranges and plums? Is, you know what I'm saying, is Handsome Brad going to be out there, you know what I'm saying, doing drywall? So, I mean, it's you know what I mean, the whole thing, it gets very, very deep. All I'm saying, I'm just keeping it real. It gets very deep. So once we get rid of them, right, who is going to pick up the slack? Who's going to do the work? So something has to be figured out. And like I said, this goes deep too, because we have demonized these jobs. Like back in the day, it was normal to have families, American families and everything else, working in the farms, picking fruit, you know what I'm saying, doing hard, intensive jobs. And then sometime around like the late 90s, 2000s, everything was about corporate. They took the trades out of the schools. Remember, y'all taught me that. I was shocked when y'all said there was no more home ec. There wasn't a mechanic shop in schools. We had a welding program. We had so many trades in our school when I was in high school, and I thought, y'all don't even have home ec. So it's like a lot of these kids don't even know that these type of jobs are available. These infrastructure jobs, the roads and things like that. So I think it's almost like the lesser of two evils. You know? Okay, cool. Deport them. Get them out of here. Who's going to replace them? Do you guys have a plan for that? Are we going to start paying people fairly? Because Americans are not going to pick fruit for $5 an hour. They're not going to do that. But then if they don't do that, then understand that your fruit is going to be twice as expensive. Because if I had to pay, you know, Handsome Brad, you know, $25 an hour to pick plums and cherries and shit, right? Well, them cherries are going to be like $30 a pound, you know? So I don't even know, like, I'm not saying I have the answers. I'm just literally talking off the cuff. I'm just like, I don't know how we clean up this mess, you know? I know we have farmers, Laterio. Yes, we've always had farmers, but is that a job that's pushed? When you go onto social media and TikTok where the young people hang out, are people pushing farming jobs? No, they're not. They're pushing influencer work. They're pushing, you know, OnlyFans. Why should you got girls right now, as soon as they turn 18, they're running to OnlyFans. They're not thinking about fucking picking cherries. You can pop their cherry. Sorry. I had no chill. You can pop their cherry, but they're not going to pick no cherries, bitch, okay? That's all I'm saying. And y'all know I respect, you know what I'm saying, regular jobs, the hard workers, the farmers, you know, officers, you know what I'm saying? Because those jobs are not easy, right? I respect all types of work, you know, especially people who work just a regular 9 to 5. It's not easy. What I'm saying is that we have a generation of people who are being made to feel like the only good jobs are glamorous jobs, beauty influencer work, and, you know, streaming. That's what most of these kids want to do. They're even calling OnlyFans content creation. No, creating porn on OnlyFans is not content creation. It's prostitution. But now it's been renamed to something glamorous. Oh, I'm doing a collab. No, you're sleeping with people for money on OnlyFans. It's just digital pornography. It's just digital prostitution. You got more people interested in that than farming. Let's keep it real here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to evolve. I'm just saying, like, let's keep it real. Let's not act like this generation of kids are running to the trades. They're running to be farmers. No, they're not. They're running to be streamers and OnlyFans girls. So again, at some point in time, we have to change the mentality and start having real conversations and saying, look, If y'all want these people deported, understand what's going to happen. We need y'all to fulfill these jobs. We need y'all in these positions. Yes, being a dishwasher is not glamorous, but somebody has to do the dishes. Being a janitor is not glamorous, but somebody's going to have to do it. Picking fruit is not glamorous, but somebody's going to have to do it. And then also, when do we also hold these other countries accountable for what they're not doing for their own citizens? These people are coming here for a reason. You know, granted, she went to Guatemala and spoke to the Guatemalan people and was like, don't come here, but it's a little too late. You should have said this 4 years ago. You can't say this a month or two before the elections. There needs to be things in place for these countries. Y'all need to take care of y'all citizens. We can't take care of everybody. I mean, it'd be no different than if somebody just came into your home with like 20 kids from up the street. Well, we're about to just, crash here and eat with y'all and stay with y'all. Well, no, where are y'all parents at? I can't afford to feed all y'all. Where's your mom and dad? So all I'm saying is that it's a lot of nuances is what I'm saying to it. And, while it seems easy and it seems like, that's just the right way, just get rid of them. They're the ones who are causing the issues. Okay, so poof, millions of people disappear tomorrow. Who are going to do these jobs that we need done? The infrastructure in America is falling apart. The bridges, the roads, potholes, everything. So we have to start having real, honest, y'all keep saying we will, and I hope y'all will, and I hope y'all's children will. And yes, a lot of like Gen Z and older millennials, we get it because we come from a space and time where you worked those hard jobs and labor-intensive jobs. But this new generation, especially Gen Alpha, all they want to do is sit online and put drunk elephant on their skin and be TikTokers. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the conversation is going to have to change. We're going to have a real conversation with the youth because they're the next generation. All of these dinosaurs will be dying off soon. These people are in their damn 70s. So we have to get the youth to understand reality. And while AI is nice and technology is amazing and streaming is cool, if it wasn't for streaming, I wouldn't be talking to you fine people. At the end of the day, we can't eat streaming. You need water, you need food, you need real things to sustain yourself. So it's going to be a long road either way. I don't expect for Donald Trump to get into office and wave a magic wand and all of the issues over the past few years will just be resolved. It's going to be a long road. But I just hate the divisiveness. The divisiveness has drained me spiritually. Like, it's just drained me. It's sad. I'm more sad by the divisiveness and the back and forth and, even in my own little, tea squad, my tea sippers, just seeing y'all go back and forth and argue. And I'm just like, I hate it. But I get it. It's the times that we're living in and both sides are very passionate about how they feel. And there's nothing wrong with being passionate. There's nothing wrong with having your feelings. My issue is when you try to project your feelings onto me. Your feelings are just your feelings. Don't tell me how I should think, vote, feel, none of that. That's when I have an issue, when you're trying to project onto me or shame me. You don't have that right. So somebody said the Tesla robots are going to be picking fruit. Child. They might, though, the way he was making them drinks. But the thing is, them robots are not cheap. So if we're having to put out 30 robots that cost $30,000 a pop, and let's say we need hundreds of robots, that damn fruit gonna be $1,000. It's gonna be $1,000 for an apple. So it's gonna cost. It's gonna definitely cost. Let's go ahead and watch some more videos here. These were some meltdowns I was watching I was just, I couldn't even believe some of the meltdowns that was going on. I said, ooh, this is America, child. So we're going to watch some of this. Let's see here.
How did we get here? What in the Alice in Wonderland nightmares is going on right now? All I can say is how fucking dare you?
If you voted for that man, if you voted for anybody other than Kamala, and you live in one of the states that it was, you know, close, or if you didn't vote, fuck you.
Senate race. It's not gonna happen. Go, Kamala.
I chose family. I chose women. I chose America. I love you.
How the fuck is this still happening? All I've ever known politically is hatred.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with you and your mother and your sister. I'm just done with all of this.
I'm sorry to all my friends who are Trump supporters. But y'all don't understand how scared of this man I am. If this guy does end up winning again, all of the people who voted for him will be like happy and they'll just be celebrating. And everyone else, everyone who feels threatened by him is fucking scared. Like we're scared for our lives. We're scared for our friends. How dare you put this man into office for another 4 years, knowing damn well what it means for our country, what it means for us as a people. To know that there is that much ignorance and that much hate in this country, it's so terrifying. It's so terrifying. How the fuck are we back in this same situation again? Who the fuck is voting for him? Genuinely.
Fuck you. I don't want to hear about how shitty your life gets under his policies. Live with that decision. Sit with it. Let it make you uncomfortable. Fuck you.
Child, okay. Let me see. I think I had some more. Let me see. Oh, yeah, I wanted to see his full rant.
I just want the cameras on my fucking face. Please.
Okay, girl. Hold on, this one.
Okay. This is not okay. This simply will not do. And this is not okay. And I'm not good with this. This is sick. This is sick. That should not be there. And that is wrong. And you're wrong. And everything is wrong. And this house is not even my house. You just bought it for me and I don't want it.
How long can this meltdown go on for?
Yeah, the meltdown is real. They've been going, I'm trying to see if I have some more clips here. They've been going off all over social media, people fighting. I think this, they said something about the fight here. And what the election result meltdown begins. Oh, hold on, hold on, here goes some beef. Just popped up on Twitter. Let me see. Let me share my screen. Let me see what they talking about. Hold on.
You guys lost. You can go home now. Yeah, you too, you fucking... What? It's over. We fucking won it. It's over. Your entire personality. Trump is a fucking cult. He's a fucking cult. And you're all cult followers. You're all cult followers. Fucking cunts. Fucking losers.
And this is how it is all over the country. It's like just this device. Ooh, what is she yelling about? Let's watch this. Hold on.
For goodness, stupid fucking whore! So I'll just shut the fuck up! I'll just shut the fuck up for good now, huh? Yeah, you fucking want that? Yeah? We are fucking hope that you choke on a piece of concrete and literally go to hell. I will see you in fucking hell, you fucking asshole, you fucking liar, you fucking manipulator, you goddamn wish you would have played your cards right with me, you fucking asshole!
She was talking to her boyfriend who voted for Trump like that. Child. I don't even want to hear what she got to say. Let's see. So he must be viral because I keep seeing him.
This simply will not do, and this is not a...
There was this black girl that was screaming too. Let me see if I can find her.
All right, guys, it's time to go to bed. None of us are stressed about the election, right? We all are gonna just go have the best night's sleep of our lives, aren't we? When did it end? All the enjoyment, I'm sad. When did it end? All the enjoyment, I'm sad again.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with you and your mother and your sister. I'm just done with all of this.
Okay, it's the same people have mental breakdowns. It's the yelling and the screaming for me. But yeah, there was a black lady that just went like crazy. She was screaming and hooping and hollering. Trying to see if I could find her. Thought I had her on here, but child, it's okay. You know, at the end of the day, I just feel like the country is extremely divided right now. So there has to be some type of change to bring everyone together. Like, I get it. People's fave did not win. You know, the person that they were cheering on and wanted to win did not win. And again, if Trump would have lost, trust me, this would have been the same thing. Because that's how it was in 2020. The only difference is in 2024, it's a bunch of people that were Democratic who voted for Kamala who lost and they're having mental breakdowns. In 2020, it was Trump. It was MAGA. It was the red team. So I don't even understand why people are acting like this is something that, like, it's just not really funny. It's kind of sad that people are going to the internet and just acting a fucking fool. It's insane. So let me go ahead and read some of these super chats here. Give me just a second. Gray Fox sent $9.99. Thank you so much, Gray Fox. Appreciate you. Lionel Ferguson sent 5, says, hey T, my first time sending a super chat. I agree with you. Thank you so much, Lionel. I appreciate you, sis. It's DB says, I think she went with the wrong celebrities, the twerking and all of that. Yeah, I think outside of like Oprah, you know, who, you know, is articulate, she knows how to carry herself and stuff like that. I think she should have went with more serious people. I think the problem is, and I get trying to tap into a young fan base, but there has to be a balance. It has to be like a mixture of both, right? Of appealing to the youth, but then also appealing to people who want more. Because there's a lot of people who want food. They want substance. They don't want to just sit and watch somebody twerk or watch somebody just, you know what I'm saying, talk any type of way. They want people who are going to get up there and say a lot of really smart, educated things. So I think that's the one thing that Trump has, is that he knows a balance. He can have people who are articulate and smart, you know, talk on his behalf, represent his constituents, but then he can also tap into the youth like Aiden Ross. So I think that's where they didn't have a fine balance. Let's see here. Troy on the beat says, sad day for America, child. Thea says, how long has T been? Hey, Tia. Beautiful Heart sent $9.99, says, pop off, sis, pop off. Thank you. I have to go off at the beginning because I just can't stand that. But thank you. Um, let's see here. I love my dopeness at $2 says Joe should have been dropped, to be honest. 100 days is quick. Yeah. Like I said at the beginning, I think if they would have started earlier with her, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about a year, 2 years ago, getting rid of him because it was so apparent that Joe was having issues. I think they might have seen a better, ending. But with her only having 100 days to try and change people's minds and to try and get to people to get to know her even better, because for the most part, even though she was a vice president, a lot of people didn't know a lot about Kamala. So for them to try and figure out all this stuff about her in 100 days, that's not a lot of time. It's just not. So I think they should have started way sooner. Let's see here. Black Rose sent $4.99 says, LOL, Trump is a felon and now he's the president. Things should be changing in terms of felons getting jobs. If a felon is our president, love you, T. And I agree. And I do notice a lot of MAGA people try to ignore that fact, but he is a felon. And it's very interesting that felons are not allowed to vote, but we do have a certified felon as president. So hopefully he will, maybe do something where he can allow felons to vote or give felons, something, or even felons who have changed their lives around, right? They haven't been in trouble in like 10 years. They've been good citizens ever since they paid their debt back to society, maybe helping them expunge their records. So I definitely agree. There should be something, done if we have a felon president. Somebody said a felon from a kangaroo court. Let's see here. K. Drew says racism gets risen from people's souls each election. It's draining. Respect others' opinions and move on. The divisiveness needs to stop. I definitely agree. But again, can we really say that it's 100% racism? Because you had a lot of minority voters who voted Trump. I mean, and you had some people saying that it's self-hate, but I don't think it's that. For them, that is who they chose with. They liked his policies, and that's who they wanted to side with. So, I don't think it, I get the racism. I get the gender stuff. I think that did play a role. Don't get me wrong. But then we also have to acknowledge that he also got a lot of minority support as well. And minorities meaning Black, Latinos, Asians, and females. Let's see here. CC Gilbert said, what do we think about the Latinos voting for Trump? I know Fat Joe was calling them out. I don't think anything. I feel like they voted for who they wanted to vote for. Just like the people who voted for Kamala voted for who they wanted to vote for. So that's their choice. Puma Boy sent $4.99 says, honestly, I think many minorities are tired of the Democratic Party's performatism and all the optics and false sense of unity. People are tired. Yeah, I definitely get that. I think I can agree with that as well. And I think once they started getting backlash, because a lot of people were saying this months ago when she was bringing out Quavo and others, people were saying, like, we don't want to see a bunch of celebrities coming out. We don't want to see a bunch of rappers being rolled out, to tell us who to vote for. We want to know about the policies. We want sit downs. We want, real questions being answered. And so I do think that did sway a lot of people to not vote for her because it was too much. It was just too much with it looked more like a concert. Not saying that Trump and them didn't have celebrities and they didn't have performances, but when you looked at certain rallies, it looked like a concert. So let's see here. Osaya, that's pretty. I like that name, Osaya. Says, hey T, as a Black gay male, I decided to vote for Trump. I got tired of the rhetoric that's been coming from the left. You look amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And again, like I always say, everybody is free to vote for who they feel in their heart that they want to vote for. So your guy won. So thank you for the super chat. Aaliyah Gomez says, you are absolutely right. I didn't keep track of the election closely, but when I heard the names Aiden Ross, Joe Rogan in his acceptance speech, I was blown away. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's he knew how to tap into those bases. They have major followings. They have major, connections with the youth, especially with male voters of all races. A lot of young black teens, a lot of young black people of voting age watch Aiden Ross. So, yeah. Like it's no longer old school politics where everything is done with just political ads on television, or they might go to like specially curated platforms like CNN and MSNBC. They have to, the Democratic Party has to totally rethink their strategy. They just have to, because he is tapped in with the youth. He just is. Let's see here. For the sake of Haiti says, I hope the Democrats learn their lessons. Don't take voters for granted. Don't keep making promises that you can't keep. Definitely agree. And I think, again, part of it is they felt like they would get it either way because she's a woman, she's a minority, and that would be just enough to get people to come out and support her. And you can't just rely on that anymore. You have to get out there and really shake hands and kiss babies. You have to get out there. There's too many echo chambers on social media of people who believe a certain thing and believe a certain way, and that's all they know. So you have to be able to go and talk to those people. You can't just be like, oh, they're MAGA, and dismiss them. They're crazy. I don't even want to try and explain anything to them or deal with them. There was a lot of undecided voters. And you have to be able to tap into those undecided voters before they sway one way or another. So I do feel like a lot of people just kind of got lost in the shuffle because they assumed that they would just vote for her regardless. And we found out that wasn't the case by a landslide. Let's see here. D Confused says, I'm a deeply melanated female veteran with 3 children in the armed forces. She wasn't serious enough to be commander-in-chief. All that giggling while she had used celebrities to twerk on stage. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying. And that's what I'm saying. They have to start looking at the feedback. Everybody wants to argue and cry and go back and forth and cuss each other out. But really look at the feedback of the people like D, who's not yelling, who's not screaming. That is genuine feedback. She's saying, I'm a deeply melanated, so I'm assuming she's black, but she could be, Indian or Latino. But she's saying, I'm a deeply melanated female veteran with 3 children in the armed forces. So meaning, she herself, she's a tough woman. You know what I'm saying? She's in the military. And so she feels like, I don't see myself voting for her. She's not taking it serious enough for me. This is somebody who's in the military, who has risked her life. Her children are in the military. They're risking their lives. And thank you guys for your service. Those are the people that she needed to tap into. Yeah, it was uncomfortable after a while with the giggling. It was a bit much. It's like, okay, it was cute at first, but now it's like, no, we really and I get it. Sometimes people laugh when they're uncomfortable, but if you're uncomfortable all the time and your resort is to giggle, that's going to turn some people off. Like, they're not going to see you as a president. And I know that was a big issue for a lot of people. Let's see here. Oop, my page refreshed. Hold up. Where'd it go? I'm sorry, my page refreshed. I'm trying to go up and find. Okay. Okay. Wavy Tay. What's up, Wavy? He says, "Hey, Auntie, this is your favorite soldier checking in. As a gay black service member, I voted for Trump. I voted for him based on his policies. Kamala had terrible policies, and when asked to explain her policies, she always did that annoying laugh." There you go. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. And Wavy Tay, he's a staple on this channel. That is our, one of my favorite soldiers, always checking in and showing love. These are real issues. These are how people really felt. And this is what they need to take back to the drawing board for future elections. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Malay Sam 499 says, "I low-key feel a lot of celebrities who supported Kamala in public voted for Trump in private. The entertainment industry is broke." I definitely agree. I feel a lot of people, to be honest with you, and this is why I hate the divisiveness, I feel like a lot of people voted for Trump behind the scenes. Not just celebrities. I feel like people have made it so uncomfortable, especially on social media, to just be honest with who you like. Because when I tell you, with so many people on my Instagram page that were shocked and appalled that they were tea sippers that were Trump supporters. And so when I seen them going at this one tea sipper who has been a tea sipper forever, because I've recognized her name, she's been in the Discord, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" It's like, what do you mean, what is she doing here? She's a tea sipper. She supported my platform, just like you're here and you're supporting my platform. And I think that's the problem. People have made it so uncomfortable for people to have a difference of opinion because they don't want to publicly say that they support Trump, because they don't want hate. They don't want to possibly lose their job. They don't want to be drugged, And the same goes for Kamala. You have some people who are staunch Kamala supporters. And they're scared to say that they support Kamala because maybe their friends or their family members are Trump supporters. And I think that's the real problem, is that on social media, in this echo chamber, people are acting one way, but in reality, they're doing something different. That's why I have always said, you don't owe anybody an explanation. At the end of the day, you're not taking Twitter with you when you're in the fucking booth voting. You're not taking Instagram, TikTok, your favorite influencer with you when you are in that booth voting. So it's just a lot of shenanigans at this point. So I agree. I feel like a lot of celebrities and a lot of regular people as well. Let's see here. Real Nurse says, "Hey, beautiful. My prediction is that Trump will pardon Diddy. Why not? They're both corporate billionaires. He better not touch Diddy with a 10-foot pole. I don't think he's going to go there. He's not going to. Diddy got too much dirt on folks. Diddy is doing too much at this point in time. The only person who wants to be around Diddy are his children. So I don't see him doing that. But thank you for the super chat, sis. Let's see here. Missy Sam 499 says they need to repair their homelands. Black Americans fought for our civil rights here. We'd be locked up abroad if we broke their country's laws. Yeah, they definitely, and that's what I was saying, at what point in time do we also hold these other countries accountable who are allowing their citizens to just come into the United States? Because you mean to tell me they couldn't have their own police at their borders and say you're not going in? You're not just going to mass migrate into their country? But they don't have that because they don't care. So, yeah, they definitely need to hold those other countries accountable. Let's see here. Uncle Bad Touch, Sam 5 says, "How much you want to bet they'll try to use the inmate population to do the work the immigrants once did, or Elon's robots?" Now, that's very interesting. That's interesting because they already have inmates. They get paid 3 cents a day. They make furniture. They do a lot of stuff, a lot of textile stuff in the prisons. You'd be surprised at how many things are made by prisoners. And then they go to retail and they're sold for so much money. And those prisoners literally get 3 cents a day. So I could see that. I could see them using the inmate population. That's a really good point. So thank you. Lana sent 5 says, I think Trump did a better job of using fear tactics. Americans are scared of immigrants coming to take their jobs and eat their cats and dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Oh my gosh, that was a mess. That was a mess. Thank you for the super chat. Jeremy Borno says, what do you think of Mein Kampf 2025 T? I don't think anything of it. I think, wasn't that the book that Hitler wrote, Mein Kampf? I'm just going to sit around and watch and see what happens and pray like I always pray. You know, but yeah, I don't think it's Mein Kampf. I don't think it's that extreme, but I'm definitely going to sit and watch how everything plays out and move accordingly. Yes, sir. Let's see here. Shayla S says that's where Elon Musk and his robots come in, doing the jobs that no one wants with the immigrants gone. Yeah, and you know, again, that sounds good, but they still have to be perfected. And that might be why Elon is getting really close with Trump, and they're supposed to be working on like different initiatives, you know, as far as like freedom of speech on Twitter and stuff like that. And, you know, they might be using robots. I know they already have robots that are picking fruit. It's like an arm, like a robot arm that picks fruit. I've seen that already. They're using it in Cali on like certain farms. So there are things like that are out, but it's also very, very expensive. It's a lot cheaper to exploit human labor. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Cornelia Sam 499 says, New York City is out of control with the homeless and the mentally ill, and adding undocumented people. That is wild. Yeah. And it's been going on now in New York for a while. Malay says, I feel once they deport migrants, Trump will have Elon use the robots to pick up the slack. This is all by design. Enter the beast system on the low. So a lot of people are going with that whole Elon Musk robot theory. That's interesting. Shanique Sim 499 says, I've been saying ever since Biden stepped down, and if they didn't make Hillary president, they wouldn't make a black woman. Yeah. Let's see here. Mayne says, I lost my dad and viewed his body. I was hoping you'd be live. Thank you, T. Loving your voice. Oh, wow. I'm sorry for your loss. Wow. Good luck with everything, with the funeral and all that stuff. I'm sorry to hear that. Sad. Weed Ninja 99 says, these white girls are hilarious, especially Big Brenda with the glasses. Like, just say words, big fella. Yeah, they're wilding on TikTok. They are. Niall J says, I definitely agree with you, T. Vote for who you feel is best for you. They're going in on Mudang. He chose Trump cake and ate the, He chose the Trump cake and ate it, and Trump won. People are saying they're going to cook him and make him into a purse. Is Mudang, I think that was like in China. Let me see. Yeah, the hippo. For y'all who don't know, this is Mudang. Oh my gosh, they said they're about to eat Mudang. Hold on, let me share my screen. Hold up. This is Mudang, y'all, for y'all who don't know. It's a hippo. So he ate the Trump cake. Oh, I got music. I don't want to play the music. So basically, they made him choose who was going to win the candidacy, and he ate the Trump cake, basically stating that Trump would win. And so now people are threatening to eat him. Poor Mudang. Y'all done brought him into y'all's human foolishness. Now y'all want to eat him and make him into a purse. That is too funny. Let's see here. Mommy sent 1999 says, I'm glad it's over, child. Not surprised because everybody's main concern was the economy. Imagine you're vice president and this is the only year everyone has heard from you. Election is won by the ordinary man, not celebrities. That is a great point. Thank you so much for the super chat, sis. Appreciate you. Keisha Harris says, I don't want to even cut grass. I'm not signing up to tend the fields. Yeah. And that is most people's attitudes, you know what I'm saying, towards, labor intensive work. So all I'm saying is if he's going to deport all these people, I hope there's a plan in place. And even though the robots, it sounds good, is it going to be affordable? If they have all these robots doing the job, food is already expensive. The cost of groceries right now are super high. How much higher is it going to be, if they're using robots? Just some food for thought. Let's see here. Okay, Nico Dallas says here, women are losing freedoms. Migrants face abuse at the borders. Queer marriages and trans healthcare are at risk. Social Security too. This isn't about a favorite. It's about human rights and lives. Yeah. And again, they voted for who they voted for. So, I get that, but what are y'all going to do to change that? So he's in there now, right? He won. So we just going to sit online and just keep moping about it and complaining and screaming to the Twitter gods and the TikTok gods. So what is the next step for everybody? Because right now the country needs to heal. The divisiveness, the divide is just insane. So where do we go from here? Because all of these issues, the women's rights issues, the migrant issues, there's still going to be issues. How are they going to be resolved? So this is what we all need to figure out. Chloe says, hey T, been watching from Toronto. Not sure how the next 4 years are going to go, but I hope everything works out on both sides. Yeah, that's all we can do is hope and pray at this point. Crystal says, I wonder if he'll pardon the January 6 people. I wouldn't be surprised. I was thinking about that too. I could see him pardoning all those people because they really only got locked up because of his ass. So I could see him going in and getting them all out of jail. I really can. That's going to be interesting to see if that happens too. Junior Herrera sent $9.99. Says, finally made a live watching you from California. As a gay 27-year-old Mexican American, I'm not visiting any red states. What if I'm not safe? I think that's what people want you to believe. They want you to live in fear. You need to understand that, and I get it, for a lot of my gay friends, they have like a different set of worries, right, than I do as a straight Black woman. Just like I have a different set of worries than they do as gay men, gay women, right? But I think you also cannot allow yourself to live in fear. You know what I'm saying? You also have to understand that whatever you fear can end up manifesting and being your reality. Don't allow the election, don't allow social media, don't allow people to put you in a bubble and make you scared to live your life. That's what they want. They want you to be fearful. They want you to be fearful and create that divide from one another. I think you can go down south and have a good old funky time. You just need to know maybe where to go. There's a lot of gay people in the South, and they're not going to automatically move up north tomorrow. So don't allow yourself to live in fear. Because if that's the case, let me pull up the map real quick here. You're not going to have a lot of choices. My state is blue, but so you're only going to go here and here. most of America is red. Don't limit yourself. Don't allow fear and social media and propaganda to limit where you go and to limit you living your life. So if I can leave you with any words, don't allow fear to overtake your life. Keep living loud and proud. Keep being yourself. And don't allow anybody to just box you in and keep you in California. So, yeah, keep pushing forward. This is not the end of the road. Like I said, there's messages going around and people saying that black people are going to be back in slavery, and I rebuke all that in the name of Jesus. Absolutely not. I'm not going to allow me to live in fear. I'm going to keep moving forward. Let's see here. Jaquin said $4.99 says Kamala being endorsed and surrounded by the same people around Diddy was odd to see. I think that left a bad taste in people's mouths. Well, I did see a lot of people saying that, right? About the Diddy thing, and it's funny that all these Diddy celebrities are who Kamala is around. But, again, if we're being fair, Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump ran with Jeffrey. They were friends. He can say that he hadn't seen him in years, but at one point in time, they were good friends. Donald Trump was also good friends with Diddy. He had, maybe not best friends, but he was at Diddy parties. He has pictures with Diddy. Diddy was around Donald. So I think that argument is always weird to me, because to me, both politicians have been around shady degenerates. So just keeping it real. So for everybody saying that they're shocked that all these Diddy people like LeBron, ain't no party like a Diddy party, is around Kamala, well, that could be said for Trump. He has pictures with Diddy. He has pictures with Jeffrey Epstein. And Jeffrey Epstein, from what I hear, is 10 times worse than Diddy. So just saying. But thank you for the super chat, love. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Apricot Warrior says, hey, auntie, the meltdowns were too much. Some of the gloating is evil. They better hope Trump doesn't turn into a monarchy and refuse to leave. Yeah, I think some of the gloating, like I said, is over the top, just like the meltdowns. That's why, with this stream, I said both sides are going crazy and it's annoying. Both sides are just like over the top with it. And that's the same thing that happened in 2020. Just the constant gloating and the I won, you lost. It's just a lot. It's a lot. Devin Brown sent $19.99, says, for those who voted for Trump, if his policies start to affect you negatively, sit down and shut up because that is what you chose. And I agree. Again, these were the same sentiments that were being said when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris won. Remember in 2020, Trump supporters said the same thing. Y'all didn't vote for Trump. Whatever happens in the next 4 years, that's on y'all. Team MAGA. So, it's the same thing on both sides. So, yes, they chose to vote for Trump. If it does not work out, I don't want to hear no complaining. Just like the folks who chose to vote for Joe Biden, it didn't work out, per most of Americans. That's what most Americans think, that this was not a good 4 years. You don't have the right to complain. You just got to eat it. So I definitely agree. Let's see here. Miss Scorpio says, hey team, miss you, still beautiful as ever. When she sat down with Uncle Luke, I was over her. I didn't know she sat down with Uncle Luke. Hold up. You telling me something new. Kamala, Uncle Luke. Girl.
all the stories I've heard about my great.
I did not even know she sat down with Uncle. Y'all see my face? Y'all gotta see this. I didn't even know about this. I just knew about the damn hip hop campaigns, child. So let me share my screen. She really sat down with Uncle Luke. I didn't know that. Kamala Harris visits South Carolina barbershop with Uncle Luke. Let me listen to a bit of this. I'm shooketh right now.
All over, actually, in 07 from Barack. The people have an ability to see what can be, even if they've never seen it before. And we in particular do. All of the fights that we've had for civil rights, for voting rights, all of that, so much of which were the leaders in the South, right here in South Carolina and Georgia. We would not, none of us would be here having a serious conversation with a bunch of media about a black woman running for president of the United States. If for many generations,
I don't even know what to say. Uncle Luke. So you don't want to sit with Joe Rogan because it needs to be quick, fast, in a hurry. Because Joe Rogan he likes to sit down. I didn't even know Uncle Luke had a podcast. Yeah. Thank you for the tea. I'm shook right now, Miss Scorpio. I did not even and this is what I'm saying. I wouldn't sit down with Uncle Luke. I want you to sit down with somebody. The election's over, child. Let me just moving forward. I'm literally lost for words. I did not know. Okay, I see why you said you was over it at that point. I didn't even know about that. That is funny. Oh, somebody, hold on. They said that video is 4 years old. Oh, that's an old video. Okay, I thought this was recently. Okay, thank you. Oh, okay. I do see the date. Okay, good. I didn't even know she ever sat with Uncle Luke. Okay, thank y'all. Okay, I thought this was recently, right before the campaign. Okay. Whew. I'm like, wait, she took time off during the campaign to go, okay, sorry about that. I didn't realize it was 4 years ago. Okay. Thank y'all for clearing that up because I thought this was recent. That's why I'm just I'm blown right now. Because I'm you had a chance to sit with Joe Rogan and you chose Uncle Luke. What? Okay. So Miss Scorpio, that was 4 years ago. That wasn't recent. But I can see how people would feel okay, you're sitting with all these rappers and hip hoppers. I can't take it seriously. But I'm so glad that was 4 years ago. Whew. I was about to say. Somebody said it's still awkward. It is still awkward though. It's just of all people, Uncle Luke. Okay, girl. It is still weird as hell. I'm not going to lie. It's still awkward. But at least it was 4 years ago and not literally within the past month. Because that's why I was so confused. Hold on. You chose him over Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan would have been a way better fit. It would have been a way better look and would have been a way to get those undecided voters to possibly flip, you know what I'm saying, and vote for her. So, whoo-wee. That's crazy. Had me about to clutch my invisible damn pearls. Shit. Dark Princess says, who is Luke T? Uncle Luke from 2 Live Crew. Doodoo Brown. Doodoo Brown. And he fought when Tipper Gore was trying to put the labels, the parental advisal stickers on the CDs and tapes. He fought so that way, rappers could be able to say whatever they wanted. He took it to the Supreme Court. He fought for freedom of speech, so that Uncle Luke. Yeah. 2 Live Crew, Uncle Luke. For all the young people who are who's Uncle Luke? That's why it's just kind of funny. Wait, what? Let's see here. Iron Rose says, Kamala couldn't even answer easy questions. Her only answer for everything is Trump is bad, but I'm better. Oh my gosh. Lily DR said 1999 says, well, at least America no longer has to be unburdened by what has been done. Y'all got jokes in the comment section. Thank you for the super chat, love. Concrete Rose, Sam 499 says, people consistently mentioning her laughter, there being an issue are big weird. The other candidates was nasty and offensive, but laughing didn't, huh? LOL. That's true too. That's a good point. Because Trump was accusing Haitians of eating cats and dogs with no real proof, and people are mad about her laughter. So, but I think people know what they get with Trump, that he's going to speak his mind. He's going to go off the cuff. He's just going to say what he wants to say and not care. Whereas I think people could deal with her laughter if she also just answered the questions. Like, answer the questions that people are wanting to know and then giggle afterwards. But it would almost be like I'm giggling to kind of like divert from answering what you need to answer. So, yeah, that whole situation was crazy about the dogs and cats. Oct Green 88 says Democrats are going to blame black men, sexism, Odo Hightower, Allison Hightower, and everybody except for looking in the mirror. Yeah. Well, the blame game started as soon as you could tell that Trump was going to win and that he was up. You could already see the blame game starting. Because I think this morning, like, black men were trending. It was a bunch of stuff that was trending this morning. But I remember black men was trending, and there was a lot of people, like, going off. Like, black men got him into office. So, yeah. Okay, Black Phenom, Sim 499 says, Obama didn't help calling black men out either. I think once he did that, black men chose to show up and go against her to prove a point to the Dems. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of misogyny at play, you know, and I think that's kind of what Obama was kind of leading at. I think it was a lot of shaming too, and shaming never helps. Because I think at one point, I forgot, was it Joe Biden or somebody said that, you know, Trump supporters are trash? So, you know, when you're calling names and you're saying, you know, you're not black if you don't vote for said person, you know, or you hate women if you don't vote for said person, that can backfire fast. It can. Oh, hold on. My screen crashed. Bring it back here. How long have I been on here? Okay, an hour and a half. Okay. We got over 9,000 people in here. Wow. Thank y'all so much for coming through. My screen crashed. Hold on. Go back up. Okay, and I want to shout out Moneybag Mo. Moneybag Mo's in the building. She sent $499.99. Thank you so much, Mo, for your support and for your love. I appreciate it. So thank you for coming through and just always just showing love to my channel. So thank you. That is Moneybag Mo, y'all. Let's see here. Golden, hold on. Gotta Love Jen sent $9.99, says, hey T, have you seen and talked about Kanye West's famous video here on YouTube? No, I haven't talked about it. I don't think I've even watched it. I haven't watched anything with Kanye as of late. Magpie sent 20, says, Trump was president once and things were fine. I don't understand the ridiculous behavior. The landslide for him spoke to the Kamala Biden's horrible 4 years. Also, red states are fine. As a truck driver, I've never had an issue. All right. Well, thank you so much for your super chat. I appreciate you, sis. K-Day sent $4.99, says, Kamala had no real plan. The policies passed under her and Biden's administration killed our economy. Y'all need to wake up. P.S. She's not black. Oh, we. So definitely a lot of people had things to say. Let me also read these. Okay, Nancy sent $100. So Nancy says, I was a lifelong Democrat before COVID. I don't think people will fully understand how it feels to be ostracized by society until they have experienced it. From my point of view, hold on. You take away my livelihood, I'll vote you and yours out. Feel better, T. Wow. So that is coming from a lifetime Democrat. So it looks like this election really had a lot of people flipping sides. And that's what I'm saying, that the Democrats really need to look at their strategies and look at the sane people, not the loudmouths who are trying to go viral on social media, who are crying and doing all that stuff, but the sane people who are having real dialogue and saying, this is why I flipped. This is why I was a longtime Democrat and I left and I voted for Trump. You know, they really need to take this into consideration, and not just from my stream, but you know, there's real discussions, real call-in shows, real things happening. And so instead of just blaming one segment or two segments of the population, they need to really understand what is going on and really listen to people. And I know a lot of it too is that people feel like the economy 4 years ago was a lot better under Trump, but things were just a lot better overall before like the Biden administration took over. But we also have to be honest that Trump also inherited a decent economy from Obama. Obama didn't leave the economy in shambles. So, you know, it's like people only talk about the 4 years with Trump, like, okay, the economy was good, you know, we had jobs, we were making money, but he was also handed that as well. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Just like now, Trump is being handed a bad economy. So the administration before helped to give him that good economy to keep working on. Am I making sense? So it's not necessarily that Trump just had, you know, things were just so much better under Trump. He was also giving that. He was given that. He wasn't given anything to really restructure as far as the economy. So it kind of just played itself out how it needed to play itself out. So now we're going to see that the economy is bad and it's on a downturn from the Biden administration. We're going to see if he can really turn that around. And that's what, you know what I'm saying, we're waiting to see. So I don't want to just praise him like everything was just perfect under his administration, because there are definitely issues as well. And the thing is now with this current administration, they've been dealing with a lot of global conflict, wars, the Middle East conflicts, Ukraine, Russia, you know, so it's a lot going on globally. And just because Trump gets sworn in January does not mean that all of the stuff that's going on globally is going to poof and disappear. So I hope that people understand that as well. It's going to take a while for all of this stuff to work itself out. And we're also living in Bible prophecies. An empire can only stand for so long. I know a lot of, you know, MAGA people are conservatives and Christians. So if you are, and you know your Bible, a lot of this stuff is Bible prophecy, being fulfilled. I'm just saying. I think I got everybody here. Okay, Nurse Gigi says nobody's talking about how Louis Farrakhan endorsed Trump. I didn't know that. Let me go ahead. Y'all, child. Let me go ahead and Google. I didn't know he endorsed Trump, child. Oh. I see old articles. Let me see, 2024. I see old articles coming up. Yeah, everything I'm seeing is old articles. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything like super recent. Not saying that he's still not, in favor of Trump, but nothing is pulling up that's recent, so I don't know. Forever Your Leo says, I think a lot of people forgot Biden took on $3 trillion in debt due to COVID compared to Obama, who took on $2 trillion from Bush. It takes time. Yep, exactly. It was a lot going on, and it's gonna take a while for all of this stuff to get cleaned up. The Nicole Asia Sin5 says people have to understand that we feel the effects of the previous administration. Inflation skyrocketed due to COVID-19. Yep. Yeah. So, when people say that everything was better during his administration, that's not necessarily true. You're still benefiting from the residuals from the prior administration. So, again, it's going to be interesting to see how the next 4 years end up playing out. He won, fair and square. There's nothing I or anybody else can do about it. But I think at this point, people need to really pay close attention to what's going on politically, see how different things are going to affect them, affect their family members, pay attention to what's going on with the immigration, pay attention to what's going on with women's health and women's issues. And I would advise any woman out there, if you can, protect yourself, protect your womb, do what you can. Because if you're living in one of these states where they don't even care if you're sick and the baby, is having deformities or issues that could be causing that could be causing death, they're not going to perform an abortion. So women need to be very, very mindful. Look up your state laws, see what's going on, because it's going to be a bumpy ride for a lot of people. It really is. At the end of the day, we still have to prepare. There's still going to be things coming down the pipeline, no matter who is in office. Still stock up on food, save up. Save money for a rainy day, a nest egg, because again, the economy is just not going to rectify itself overnight. So we got to remember to still keep doing the things that we're doing, no matter who is in office. And we just have to stop with the divisiveness at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we got to come back together. And I think a lot of the divide is perpetuated by social media and by people having to pick one side and, either you're with us or you're against us. And that to me is insane. That's not how life works. At some point in time, it used to be about choices. It's not about that anymore. It's about whoever you felt had the best policies that worked out well for you and your family. That's what it should be about. But yeah, I definitely believe that the way that she lost by a landslide, a lot of people are full of shit. So, I do. Somebody said, "Will Melania and her family be a part of the deportation process?" Y'all are messy. Thank you, Will Smalls, for the super chat. Hell, JD Vance, his wife, she was born here, but she's an Indian too. So I don't know, is her family safe? Y'all are messy. I'm not fooling with y'all. Let's see here. Let me see here. Ann Brentley says, Mark Twain said, the two most important days in your life are the day that you're born and the day that you find out why. When did you know who you'd be in life? I've never heard that before, but that's interesting. It makes sense. Let's see here. Creative Rose says, hey T, just briefly wanted to pop out and say you're the best. Can you say wretched ass Florida? For old time's sake, I miss your crazy news channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and thank you for just supporting me over the years. Hell, I miss my crazy news channel too. All the craziness that's been going on out here, it's insane. It's been a lot. Peaches says, someone said the same thing, T. that an empire usually only lasts 250 years, and America is coming to its end date. Yeah. I feel like a lot of stuff is Bible prophecy fulfilling itself. A lot of things are just going to be bad right now, you know? And technology is coming and taking over. And while, like I said, technology can be a good thing, right, to help people and like in advancement of like medicine and healthcare, it's also frightening because it's also going to replace people's jobs, real human jobs. So right now we can blame stuff on the undocumented and the migrants and all that stuff. But what happens when, okay, now they're gone? And so then it's robots because it's cheaper, right? Eventually to have a robot doing the job. You don't have to hear about complaining and, you know, they're tired and breaks and this and that. So at this point, humanity is going through it. Humanity is going through it. And we have to ask ourselves, you know, will they be rolling out UBI? Will UBI be a thing? So it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Let's see here. Trisha Sen via PSN Sen 499 says America is 248 years old. It's going to get bumpy the next 2 years for sure. Stay prayed up. Yeah, it definitely is. And thank you so much for that. TA sent $5 says, hey T, you heard about Elon Musk's contracts with the U.S. security systems? He's secretly talking to China and Russia. No, I have not heard about that yet. I'm going to have to do more research on that. Let me write that down. Copy and paste. So I don't forget. I definitely want to look into that. Elon Musk is getting involved in a lot of stuff as of late. And especially now that he's like in there really close with Trump, it's going to be interesting. Let's see here. Zahara Jones sent $9.99 says, someone in the comments says Trump has to maintain the economy. We are on the decline. We were in the decline back in 2018. Prices were going up, and the economists were saying that we were on a bad decline before 2020. Yeah. No, I definitely agree. Jerlyn sent $9.99 says, I'd understand if he gave them something, but Trump gave no policies and wants to cut everything. He never had to actually govern because the people around him who are going to do it, what did they vote for? Screen just crashed. Okay. And then DJ Generation says, T, did you see the video of the poor robot collapsing from being overworked? I did see that. That video went viral, I think, like a year ago. He just fell over. I did see that video. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like I said, we don't even have to say the next 4 years. Just after January, we're going to just be seeing a lot of things being implemented. Because, again, not only is Trump president, everything is basically red. The House has been taken over. So it's going to be a lot of changes coming down the pipeline. A lot. Some for the good, some for the bad. Jones says, my biggest concern is reproductive rights. States allow abortions are going to get overwhelmed by women from out of state seeking care. That is worrying. Yeah, that is. And I don't know how that's going to, play out, if they're going to implement rules that if you don't have, let's say, a driver's license from that state, that they can't treat you, like you have to be like a resident of that state. Like you have to have like a light bill in your name in that state, who knows? But that's what I'm saying. As women, we're going to have to be very, very careful. And know that, if you're sleeping with somebody, understand that that person could be your potential baby daddy. And if you don't see him being a good father for your children, do everything you can do to prevent it. Because if you're living in one of these states, it's not going to be a good thing if you need to get an abortion. You know? Neil Taylor says, my son and I almost died in my mid-30s giving birth. He has autism and it's a lot. I got pregnant afterwards with tied tubes and had to terminate. What about that? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of like nuanced stories, but that's not the majority, right? So like your situation, it's unfortunate, but it is very nuanced. Tied tubes, having to terminate a pregnancy. Most people who tie their tubes are never able to get pregnant again. So yes, you have a lot of these nuanced situations, and that's the part that's scary. I don't have any particular answers for that. All I can say is try your best to prevent certain things if you can. Because at the end of the day, I can't change the abortion laws in anybody's state, right? I hold no power. So you just have to understand your state, where you're at. If in the event you get into this situation, what are your choices? What can you do? So, yeah, the woman's body issue was definitely an issue, but that was not a big enough issue or big enough concern for a majority of people. And that's just keeping it real. It just wasn't. Because a lot of those situations are very small in nuance. It's big to the person who's living it and who's having to go through it. But that's more or less a personal issue as opposed to like an overall issue that's affecting the majority of the country. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, that's really unfortunate, and I'm sorry that that happened to you. It is sad, you know. And again, as women, it's like we can't win. If we have a bunch of babies, then we're bastard single mothers bringing in bastard children's. If we keep our babies, we're everything but a child of God. These stupid single mothers and single mothers this, single mothers that. And then if a young girl says, well, I don't want to be a single mother right now, I don't like the stigma, then she's a baby killer and you should burn in hell. So it's like there's like no in between, unfortunately, as a woman. So again, you have to live your life for you and make the right decisions for you and understand, like with sex comes great responsibility. It's the truth. It's sad. Let's see here. Mighty sent $10. A Mighty Mouse. He says, Trump didn't do much to appeal to me as a Christian. I didn't like how his supporters put him on a pedestal. It is what it is now, but he better do all he said he would do in the first 100 days. Yeah, and I think for me, that's the turnoff with the whole MAGA situation. It's very cult-like. Very cult-like. And I don't, anything that's very, very cliquish, I don't like. And that goes for MAGA. That goes for sororities, fraternities, gangs. I guess I'm the type of person, I've always rolled solo dolo. People are like, what sorority did you join? Me, fi me. I don't do things that are like very cliquish. It's weird when you got adults who can't stand on their own. It's very cult-like behavior on both sides, but mainly on the MAGA side. It's very cult-like behavior. It's weird. It's like, okay, we get it. You're Team Trump. But he's not a god. He's a man. He's a human. Like I said, to me, I knew it was very cult-like when they were putting like Band-Aids on their ears during his rally. I was like, what the fuck? Like, were you shot in the ear too? Why do you have Band-Aids on your ear? Big white Band-Aids. To stand. Let me see if I can find it. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? We have posted on my Instagram page. See if I can find it. Here it is. Hold on. This makes me laugh every time. Like, it just comes off very cultish to me. You know what I'm saying? And I know I got Trump supporters, you know, bless y'all's hearts, but y'all was doing too much after he got shot. Y'all was doing way too. Look.
I'm wearing a bandage on my right ear and standing in solidarity with President Trump. Started by another delegate in the Arizona delegation, and I copied him, and now it's spreading.
We realized that this was a tragedy that should have never happened.
Oh my God, I was trying so hard not to spit out my water. So like I said, I'll be like, bruh, it's like a call. Why y'all putting Band-Aids on y'all's ear? It was a tragedy. What happened to him? Yes, it happened to him, not you, Sally Sue. Get that shit off your ear. Nothing wrong with your damn ear. Oh my gosh, y'all. I've been on here for 2 hours. On that note, it's time for me to go. Thank y'all so much for coming through to the stream. And I thank you guys for just being able to like have a adult dialogue. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, we don't have to agree. Okay, we can agree to disagree. You can be a staunch, you know, Biden, Kamala supporter, and that's okay. You can be a staunch Trump supporter, minus the people who put the Band-Aids on their ear, and that's okay. But we should be able to come together like adults and just have adult conversations. The divisiveness, the screaming, the tearing each other apart, that's not going to solve anything. It's just not. So I just thank you guys tonight for allowing me to come on here and just kind of speak off the cuff and state my opinion and, you know, just state how I feel about it, because it was very draining for me these past 48 hours. It was very draining, and just not knowing which way was going to go, and then just seeing like just people's attitudes online. It was a lot. So just thank you guys for just being my peace. You know what I'm saying? Being my peace and just allowing me to just have the stance that I have. You know what I mean? This is how I deal with it every year. I was like this 4 years ago as well when Biden won. You know, so thank you guys for that. Just thank you guys for just not turning my chat section into a whole nasty debate. Because I've been in some people's live streams and chats and I just had to leave. I would just listen to them, but I had to come up out the chat because it was just very nasty. Just the names, the name calling, the low vibrational energy. Just thank you guys for not doing that here. I appreciate it. So with that being said, thank you to everybody. I'm sorry if I missed any super chats. I apologize. But I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. Everybody have a good night. Stay safe. Stay prayed up. And, you know, just really stay on top of all the policies and all the things that are coming down the pipeline. You know what I mean? Understand what laws are going to affect you, going to affect your autonomy. And just be very mindful. Be mindful of what is coming down the pipeline. So thank you guys so much. Have a good night, everyone.